I will not be shaving my face until DC is done with their 10-year plan. We'll talk about it on Comic Book Cannon. That's not true. Don't hold me to it because they haven't completed a plan yet. We're going to talk more about DC and all the craziness that happened this week. We're going to talk about a lot of fun news and a lot of fun things. But first, before we do that, obviously I have to introduce my co-host, good friend, and partner in crime here. That's Christopher. What's happening, Hot Stuff?
Hey, man, our first time back in the squares.
Back in the squares, not next to each other. We were punching each other under the desk when we were saying something stupid, when we didn't agree with things. It was really, we both had bruises on our legs. Listen, that was a blast. I was so, honestly, well, we're not making any promises to anybody yet because it's a lot of coordinating and figuring out, but we're going to do it again for Shoresies. But before we get into the news,
yes,
Chris, we gotta just touch upon what you were just discussing on your channel for those that don't know about the C2E2 controversial variant and access to it. Chris, real quick.
We'll try to sum this up again. I highly recommend you guys going and checking out the stream on Rewind. But there is a Black Flag released this sort of an exclusive. I won't go on explaining it. And it wasn't available for the general public until the booth opened that day. And it seems that Black Flag was reaching out, communicating with some of their buddies, people that they were close to, and selling 10, 20, 30 copies to some of these people beforehand. And then they could go up and pick them up a day of. I find that there are a lot of issues with this that cross an ethical line. But my whole thing, too, is that on the flip side of this, we have a community that jumps into situations like this as a chance to start throwing mud at innocent people or people that they don't even know are involved, and they start shaming people simply because they're a content creator or they're an influencer or they're a successful seller on whatnot. And I am just so tired of this dynamic. Yes, I think there is an ethical issue that needs to be addressed that is culturally accepted in terms of what transpired with how Black Flag handled this. But on the other side of things, there are people within this community that just want to validate themselves and clout chase, that will throw anybody under the bus just because they have a little bit of success. And there's these two things that are going on right now, and I had to address it. I am going to have a roundtable discussion on my channel probably next week because I'm going out of town again for this week. But that's it in a nutshell, Jeff. There's a lot layers to peel back and a lot to just really dig into. And like I said, I went live for an hour and I didn't even touch the surface.
Yeah, there's a lot to, as you said, unpack there. Obviously, there's preferential treatment being had if that was the case, that these people had access to it. However, making assumptions without any facts that people are guilty of that preferential treatment and screwing over other people. Come on, don't start throwing people out there under the bus and shit like that. That's definitely not cool. As Chris said, he's going to have a more conversation about this situation. But before we get into but that's it right there. Maybe we'll have time to talk about it at the end of the show. We'll see. We got a packed show. Tony Trombetta is in the house with EGS Comics. That's right, EGS. He's got some, I don't want to say it. We'll have Tony say it. You guys all probably know.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
He revealed what we're talking about earlier in the week. But if you don't know, stick around, and we'll have Tony as our guest co-host.
Hey, Jeff, I'm telling you, I know me saying it right now isn't but we should have absolutely had a clip of the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
My dad loves
the Pointer Control, and I think I like it because what Tony's bringing today has got me feeling away.
And not only, and it's available to everybody here. And starting from this August, fresh from the comic shop slab, you'll know what we're talking about. All right. Let's say hello to some fine people before we get into the news. That's right. It was Scandalous Jacob merch, a.k.a. Jacob Comics. Matt Stadge thought you would be out of breath. C to the G is in the house, and we're happy that you are. Super Crispy Comics, what's happening? Nikita Garay, drop the beats. You're talking about drop them. Dan De La Torre is here. Matt Labno, a.k.a. 630 Collectibles, is here. Who do we got? Fat Dad Comics. Yeah, Lady Gaga's Harley. We'll talk about that. Nori Jordan, Raw Dog Comics. What's happening? It's such a great Spider Dude. Bravo. X11 Bravo. I hope you don't mind that I burped after I said your name. And that's all I got right now. Lots of you here. Say hello, say hello, say hello. All right, Chris, let's just get into it because we got a lot to talk about, specifically with Warner Brothers Discovery, DC. It's like, what? It's like, what? Because, oh, here we go. That's right. You see this right here. Batgirl is canceled. That's right. And it's unfortunate too. Chris and I'll get to our thoughts on this. But the week started off with the news from out of nowhere that WB Discovery is canceling Batgirl. The film completed primary filming and was in post, but that's $90 million down the drain, or is it? Reports now say that WBD, actually it's a bit easier to say Warner Brothers Discovery, will recoup $20 million for a tax break not releasing the movie. It's all a waste either way. And also on the chopping block was the latest Scooby-Doo installment 2. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO explains these decisions. We're not going to launch a movie until it's ready, Zaslav said during the Q&A portion of the earnings call earlier in the week. When asked directly about Batgirl getting the axe, we're not going to launch a movie to make a quarter, and we're not going to put a movie out there unless we believe in it. More about this was during the presentation. Zaslav reportedly pointed to the company's DC superhero properties, including Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, as central to the company's broader content strategy. To better marshal those properties, Zaslav cited his previously reported goal of putting together a team with a 10-year plan focusing just on DC. Similar to the approach Disney has taken with Marvel Studios. Actually, Marvel started, then Disney acquired. Let's just be clear on that. As run by Kevin Feige. But he did not announce who would be heading the team. Zaslav name checked, citing Black Adam, Shazam 2, and The Flash as DC features that he's very excited about. It should also be mentioned, though, that Batgirl reports indicate that test audience scores were on par with Black Adam and It, the horror movie. So also on this news, we saw Warner Brothers Discovery stocks drop sharply. Chris, let's get your thoughts first.
All right. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call it right now. Bullshit. This isn't some. So we're gonna roll with a 10-year plan. Like, first off, you should have did that 10 years ago, because it's been about 10 years since Man of Steel. 10 years too late. It's bullshit. If that was the case, cancel the Flash, cancel Black Adam. Bullshit. No. That's an excuse. It's lame. Maybe they're obviously there's some truth to that. They already have the multiverse. They've already talked about this. Well, it all could be canon because it's a multiverse. Even CW, because Ezra Miller showed up in a cameo on the Flash TV show. So this is so stupid and BS, because here's the thing. Release Batgirl. Release the Flash, and with what's going on with Ezra Miller, I doubt he's ever going to show up as Flash again. Release Black Adam, and then at the same time, start over.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It just, to me, Jeff, it shows it's the same thing, and it's been you that's been leading this kind of narrative about people being in place that just don't freaking know what they're doing. Oh, we only want to release the movie that we have faith in. Where was your faith over the last however many months when you were organizing, casting, getting the directors and the writers involved, getting the screenplay, filming, post-production, and being practically done with the movie?
All of that is $90 million right there.
$90 million. I don't look. Here's the thing. DC, in terms of Warner Brothers Discovery, you can't F up any more than you already have. You can't screw us over. Like, I would have rather spent my money, spent my $30 on HBO Max, or spent my movie tickets going to the movie and seeing Batgirl and coming out of it saying that was the worst DC movie ever made. I would have rather done that than had to sit here and listen to you feed me some BS about why you're canceling it because of a 10-year plan. it's just one thing, we sit here and we constantly give these people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
We did it last year when they announced Warner Brother Discovery and all this, and we're like, okay, Jeff's like, okay, Chris, here we go. Black Adam leading the way. Nope. I'm sorry. I'm back to just throwing my hands in the air. I have no faith in what they're doing, and I don't care anymore. I don't care.
I mean, you say you don't care, but you're saying you don't care in a tone where you're hurt. And I'm hurt too. And I don't understand this. I do understand this, actually. Here's what it was. And I've said this before, and I think, Chris, you've alluded to this as well. DC, the execs at Warner Brothers thought they had just this, a golden ticket having these properties. You make something and people just show up without a plan, right? Without a plan. And they thought it would be that easy because, look, Marvel Studios did it. Marvel Studios busted their ass and created the template of what this is. When they created Iron Man, they had no idea what they were getting into, but they created it. They thought everything out.
Yep.
You listen to Walter Hamada last year saying, we could have Batmans in different universes and make all these other Batman movies and do all the Batmans. It's not a big deal. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know anything you are talking about. So hearing this now is like this, and you said it, this is what you should have done before. You should have just accepted the fact that Marvel is successful. You should have accepted the fact that they created a template, and you should have done it your own way within that template. Because that's again, kudos to the people that create. Kudos to the people that put all of their time and effort into these things. But at the end of the day with DC, the execs just got their hands dirty. You look at Zack Snyder with his cut. You look at David Ayers with his cut, with Suicide Squad. You look at all of this stuff. They got involved. They got overly involved. They thought they were the smartest people in the room. And they weren't, because their track record is garbage. Hearing this now, I don't know, man. I don't want to be optimistic, but at the same time, maybe there's some hope here. We've been here before, though. I don't know. Anyways, we'll continue on with the story. There's more to say.
Yeah, real quick though, Fat Dad says, what do you think is close to the truth? And I think it's what Jeff just said. They don't know what they're doing. It's that simple. This movie, they're getting a $20 million tax credit. This movie would have made its money back even as a flop. I'm sorry, man. It makes no sense. But Jeff, I'll let you proceed.
Well, here's the other side to the story too. Because I saw a lot of people online, it doesn't matter. The people working on the films just collect a paycheck, then they move on to the next project. That is not true. I work in the industry. I put my heart and soul into things that sometimes aren't successful. And it hurts.
Yep.
And for things to never see the light of day, I've never had that happen. I can only imagine how much more that would hurt. Right. So here is the other side of things right here. And dagnabbit, I did not put the image in. It's such a sweet image of them. Where is the image of them? Oh, man, the director. Anyways, all right, here it is. The directors and Leslie Grace, their reply was graceful. No pun intended there, I swear. Leslie Grace said, Querida familia, on the heels of the recent news about our movie Batgirl, I am proud of the love, hard work, and intention all of our incredible cast and tireless crew put into this film over 7 months in Scotland. I feel blessed to have worked among absolute greats and forged relationships for a lifetime in the process. To every Batgirl fan, thank you for the love, and belief, allowing me to take on the cape and become, as Bab said, best, my own damn hero. Batgirl for life, she said. The directors, they found out, I don't know which one of them was getting married, but they found out at the wedding. One of the directors was getting married. They found out at the wedding. Also, there's reports saying that the cast and crew found out via social media as well. Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah, the directors who also did the first 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel, we are saddened and shocked by the news. We still can't believe it. As directors, it is critical that our work be shown to audiences. And while the film was far from finished, we wish that fans all over the world would have the opportunity to see and embrace the final film themselves. Our amazing cast and crew did a tremendous job and worked so hard to bring Batgirl to life. We're forever grateful to have been a part of that team. It was a dream team to work with such fantastic actors as Michael Keaton, J.K. Simmons, Brendan Fraser, Jacob Scipia, Corey Johnson, Rebecca Front, and especially the great Leslie Grace, who portrayed Batgirl with so much passion, dedication, and humanity. I mean, Chris, we are not going to see this. We're not going to see this image of Batgirl, Leslie Grace, and Michael Keaton's Batman with the director in the middle. Like, we are not going to get to see, like, it boggles the mind, man. It boggles the mind. Like, and anyway, so I don't want to, they're a mess. They've been a mess for a while. I don't know if they're ever, I really hope they right this ship, because Chris and we're not DC haters. The track record of the DCEU has been garbage, though. There's been some few bright spots, but they've been garbage. We don't hate on DC, Chris, because we are just haters. We hate on them because they put out horrible products. We hope this rights the ship. Chris, I'll give you a final word on this before we move on to the next piece of DC news.
Yeah, final word. It's such an unsettling feeling, and again, we don't have the truth. We don't have the truth. And that's plain, that's my truth. And I'll stand by that. We don't have the truth. The execs are cowards at this point, in my humble opinion. They've proven that they still don't know what they're doing. And even if there is some type of 10-year plan, I don't trust it. There's nothing that tells me that they're ever going to get it right. And it's as simple as that. And I'll say one more thing. Remember when Feige started his 10-year plan with Iron Man, like you were just saying, Jeff. Remember during that time, Feige didn't have control of Marvel Television. Yeah. And Feige was just, he wanted, did Feige, like, those shows came out and they pushed through them no matter, and don't get me wrong, I mean, some of the Daredevil, one of the greatest freaking Marvel TV shows ever. Iron Fist, not so much, but no. It's still, it came out, it's there, it is what it is. And at the time, even though Feige wasn't in control, and even though they were doing what they're own doing, like, what if I knew an Iron Fist series was coming out and it didn't come out, I would have been disappointed. And then remember, there was the horrible Inhumans, and then there was the Runaways, which had a great first season, second season, whatever. Cloak and Dagger was decent, but to me, the ABC stuff never felt like MCU. It didn't feel like it to me. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm so glad that they were made instead of canceled. And I don't understand this. I never will, unless maybe one day we actually get the truth. I don't see that happening.
We will. 100% we will. Fat Dad Comics, I think just listening in on professionals, whatever the discipline, it appears as though producers and execs really missed the mark. Jeff, can you attest to this? No, I don't agree with that, because in most cases, they don't miss the mark. They care. Kevin Feige is a perfect example of that. Kevin Feige has a vision. He hires people he trusts, and he trusts them to do their job. DC or Warner Brothers hires people, or the execs are there that hire people, and then when they don't agree with it, they completely change everything. Now, Kevin Feige has opinions, but for the most part, he lets people trust them. Those are the best kind of supervisors in any profession. Yep. Are you hire people you trust. You hire people that you trust that are smarter than you, and you'll look like a genius. Okay? Let them do their job. Let them do their job. Chris, let's move on to the next DC piece of news. Goodness gracious.
Do it. So, man, coming off of what we just talked about, it's good.
You're going to be exhausted tonight, Chris.
Yeah.
It's not going to be passionate right now. That was it right there. We hit our peak, and now it's going to be.
I don't know. No, I'm still going. All
right, go ahead.
Some green tea in here in between segments. Joker 2. I mean, is this something for us to get excited for? Confirms Lady Gaga. Love me some Lady Gaga. Absolutely. I have her picture hanging up above my bed. I don't, but I would if I had one. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn in what has been called, hear my French out, guys.
I'm glad you took this segment, because I can't pronounce this either.
Folie à deux.
That sounds good.
Folie à deux? Is that? I don't know.
It's better than what I would have done.
Fali Adwa. Maybe it's Adwa.
It's good.
Moving on, though. Forgetting my pronunciations, but
Forgive my French.
yeah. Excuse my French. We got the name. We got the name now. This title refers to a shared delusional disorder, which addresses the shared relationship, obviously, between Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. Now, Variety had previously reported rumors of Gaga's casting for the sequel, which, of course, will bring back Todd Phillips to direct. And this film will indeed be a musical. Now, here's my thoughts on this, Jeff.
Yeah.
We talked about the Joker film, the first one, and I thought it was a very well done standalone film. I love Joaquin Phoenix. Like, I love this dude. Everything he does is he's so passionate and has played so many different characters. Was his performance worthy of an Academy nomination? Sure. Was it a little overhyped? Yeah. And I thought it was what it was. I don't see this character being a character that could exist with Batman. I don't see this character being somebody that's gonna go toe to toe with a superhero. This wasn't, and it didn't need to be. That was the beauty of this film. It didn't need to be a superhero film. It didn't need to be comic book accurate. It was a film about a guy that had serious issues, and you saw the day in the life of this guy and this crazy stuff that transpired. The end. That was great. I love Lady Gaga. I love the idea of a Lady Gaga Harley Quinn. I freaking love it. Like, Lady Gaga is so unique and crazy, and I think she can embody this. I can give an absolute shit about this movie. And this just goes to further my frustration that I don't know what the hell Warner Brothers is doing. I throw in the towel.
That's it. I mean, yeah, we're gonna wrap up DC news and move on to something MCU news real quick. But I don't know what you guys tell us in the comments what you thought. But like for me and Chris, when we've discussed the Joker movie, I thought it was a good movie. I will never watch it again because movies like that are just with somebody in such disarray and pain. It's hard to watch, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think this needed a sequel. I really don't. It's intriguing to see Lady Gaga in the mix. I will watch it, but I really don't think this needed a sequel. And that's where I stand. We'll see. Now being a musical, I don't know. We'll see. Chris, are you ready to move on to the final?
Yeah.
Oh, Fat Dad Comics says it deserves a second watch. Chris, have you seen the Joker twice?
No.
Would you see it again?
I have no intent to.
C to the G, WBDCEU trigger guys here at the con. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like yeah. Anyways, we're putting this to bed. Good night, DC, or WBD. We'll talk about you soon, I'm sure. But the next MCU installation is She-Hulk, and we got our first look at Daredevil. Why am I yelling, Chris? I don't know, but look. People are doing this cool thing on Twitter where they put 4 pictures together like this and it creates a bigger picture, right? So She-Hulk, the official She-Hulk Twitter says Attorneys at Law is full of surprises. So it's cool. But these are each individual pictures that have larger pictures, that's how Twitter works. If you click the bottom right, you see this right here. I'll get rid of this lower third. You see Daredevil at the bottom right, showing off the full costume with the mask and everything. And it's looking very close to the Netflix version, but a lot of people are saying this is the yellow costume, and at first I didn't see it, but now I do. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm just pumped that Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil in the MCU. We knew this; it was confirmed. We saw Spider-Man: No Way Home. Chris, your thoughts?
My thoughts are: it's the little things. It's the little things. I don't know. It's just a song I made up. Maybe I'll write a whole verse for it. Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. It's the little things, baby.
There you go.
This is how Kevin Feige not only is when you say confidence, not ego, this is where his confidence comes in, but it's a confidence that's mixed with the humility to understand the properties that he is holding in his arms, caressing like a newborn baby. Giving Charlie Cox's Daredevil another opportunity to come into MCU canon proper, and giving him basically a similar suit, how we saw him, but adding that yellow touch. It's those little things. I'm sorry, to me, that means so much, because Kevin Feige is doing what he needs to do, leading this and saying, we are giving you what you want. And I know, look, we have a lot of naysayers about where the MCU is going. I'm not even going to get into that. Most of it is just BS, and they haven't even seen the show, or it's just characters they don't care about. Calm down. Spider-Man's still here. Blade is coming. You got all these, Thunderbolts, all these characters that you care about. Sorry, you don't care about Miss Marvel or She-Hulk. Some people do. Daredevil's coming, and they gave him his yellow costume. I'm so freaking hyped. I can't wait.
It is the little thing. That's something I forgot to say. Not only does Feige create a plan, he understands these characters because he grew up immersed in these characters. So that's another good point. Como Comics, a.k.a. Drew, who will be our guest co-host next week. Have you guys heard that there are rumors, that it might be D-Man, not Daredevil? Well, after that right there, this is from Drew. This is from the She-Hulk Twitter handle right here. And again, you click the bottom right picture, and that's 100. I don't know if you're joking or not, but that's 100% Charlie Cox. So, anyways, well, I knew you meant Demolition Man too, by the way. I knew you meant that too. Anyways, okay. Anyways, so I'm pumped just as well. By the way, She-Hulk moved the release date by one day. She's going to be on her show is going to be on Thursdays, the 18th, starting the 18th, August 18th. It makes sense, guys, because you're going to have Andor next month coming out. Yep. And you had Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan on the same day. I'm sure it takes a lot of the oomph away from those types of thing. All right, that's the news. Chris and I, Chris, we still have a whole other show to do here. But I'm super pumped because it's we have a good friend, and he's such a part of the show. But here's the deal, too. Chris and I believed in this product, believed in this company way before the conversation came up that Tony Trombetta, a.k.a. AGS Comics, would sponsor Fresh from the Comic Shop. This is a product we believe in. It differentiates them. They differentiate themselves in many ways. Specifically, you're going to get created custom slabs for, custom slabs. You're going to get greater notes. Now I think other companies are following suit. But also, it's kind of just a closer feel with this company. Just everybody, please welcome Tony Trombetta in the house. Tony, how are you?
What's up, guys? Glad to be here. And man, what a follow-up to a segment, huh?
I know.
Woof.
It was like following, like in Woodstock. I can't remember the band. They followed Jimi Hendrix. They were pissed. You shouldn't be pissed though. But I do. How about this? You are officially a guest co-host, even though you do have to do an interview. Even though it's really not going to be. You're not going to have any. You're not going to be kicked off because you're going to be showing something off. Unless Chris and I are so offended by what you're showing off, I really doubt that you'll get kicked off. But here's the deal: is there anything you want to comment on any of the news we just talked about, really quickly?
Oh boy. Really quickly, let me say I am going to be the voice of a little optimism.
Okay.
Here, I think what is going to happen I listened to the investor call, and what really got my attention was, if you noticed when they had the slide up under franchises, they didn't have DC or DCEU under franchises. They had Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman under franchises.
Okay.
I think Zaslav knows that they are the key central, the heart of DC. And if DC is going to even try to compete with Marvel, they need to have the Trinity front and center to start. They need them front and center. So, I believe, listen, guys, you have to understand too, a little patience, right? Guys, Alan Horn just got there. Dude, Alan Horn is a monster. I mean, he started the MCU with Feige. I mean, so if anybody knows that formula, it's Alan Horn, right?
That's why this third time feels a little bit different.
It does. It feels a little bit different. Now who Alan Horn is going to put in charge of DC Studios, which is another big thing now that they are their own studio.
And that's something I forgot to say, by the way. DC is going to have Marvel's Marvel studio, but it's going to be DC.
That's a big deal. And I think Zaslav knows, that what was working before wasn't working. And I think he realizes finally, I think somebody's realized what their bread and butter needs to be. I'm a big Superman guy. And to me, it's been a travesty not having Superman. I mean, you have probably the most iconic IP in the superhero genre. That's like Marvel not using Spider-Man to me. I mean, it really breaks my heart to me how they've just thrown him under the rug, but I don't know. I think this whole 10-year thing, I'm glad that they're finally saying, like he said, they want to do what Feige and what Marvel's doing. They're not saying oh, well, we're DC, we need to be different. We're going to be different. And, we're going to do our thing and we don't need to copy Marvel or do what they're doing. No, I think he realizes, hey, there's the blueprint. We need to follow it. And I think, using Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, I think they're just going to me, wipe the slate clean. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it. I personally think, who knows if Cavill's coming back. I think Gal is going to be done after her third movie, guys. Right? I think her and Patty are going to be enough.
Yeah.
And as far as Batman goes, I think they just might recast everybody, and just start from scratch, start with a Superman movie, make it a good Superman movie, and just plan out and do your thing from there and commit to it and stick to it. That's what I hope they do, but we'll see.
Well, they got the cojones to just scrap a complete movie, so they can probably scrap anything that they've previously done before and start at zero.
I think I would have liked to see him, just put what you have out and then just start over.
Exactly.
Just put it out. It's done. It's over, and we start. I think they could have done that, but hey, I don't get paid the big bucks like they do. So,
well, you get paid the big bucks for what you do, and what you do is you bring a service to the people of this community, and we are very appreciative of it. We have you here right now. We want to show off what you got, and Chris, we're going to let you drive this segment, but I will say again, Tony, I've been holding off until your announcement came out on this.
Oh yeah,
this is coming your way. We're going to Florida soon, so can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, take it away.
All right, Tony. I've been anticipating this for a long time. I was away this last week, and I came back to an amazing video that you posted on your YouTube. And guys, if you're not following EGS on YouTube, go subscribe. Links below.
Link is down below. Tony, actually, we need to get 10 more subs on your channel before the end of the night. If not, we're canceling Comic Book Canon. Yep. Tony, tell us right now how many subs you have right now.
All right, let me get
to the exact number.
Yep.
Let me see. I believe it's 711.
All right, so we need to get to 721. So people, make it happen. The link is down below. There's no excuse, right? The link is down below. And also, if you want to win a Fresh from the Comic Shop, you have to be following EGS Comics to win the grand prize each month. Chris, again, take it away. Sorry.
I got 723.
You got 723?
It says 723.
Then we got to. Oh, So we need 733 by the end of the night.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do
hold
that.
on.
Tony doesn't refresh his browser.
Yeah,
Ever.
you're right.
Okay,
I'm horrible. I'm horrible at that.
all good, all good.
Here we go.
My lucky number 33.
Make it happen, people.
That's what we're doing. All right, Tony.
Yep.
You announced, finally, we knew that it was coming, but you have now announced that EGS will have its own custom proprietary slabs. This is huge news, I think, for the community. Obviously, it's big for you in EGS. It's big for the grading industry as a whole. And I just want to ask, we're going to ask you a few questions to dive in to a few specifics about the cases. And of course, folks, he does have the video up on his YouTube where he talks about it. But first and foremost, you got a sample on you right now. I want you to just bring it up and show us the book and just kind of let's just have everyone get a good look at it. We don't even need to give commentary first. Let's just give a nice, we should have some epic music playing, Jeff, but let's bring Tony up and have him just show this case off front, back real quick, and then we'll go into some specific details.
All right, I will do that. Hopefully I can get this kind of straight and the camera doesn't go too crazy with it. But that is the look of the front. As you can see, new label. There is the sticker there.
Nice.
On top. Obviously, no hinges, no side rails, no stickers. And there's a quick look at the new back to it. I know the light is really messing with this, but
we see
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I mean,
can you kind of give it? Can you give it kind of a tilt? We can kind of see the sides at an angle
and bring it closer to the camera if you could.
A little closer. There you go.
Features.
Yeah. So there's really the side of it. We can go to the top. As you can see, there's a little bit of a blue tint.
Yep. Okay, let's hold off. We're going to talk about that, Tony. Okay.
Yep.
First thing first, I'm going to say I can't wait to get my hands on this, but and I know getting your hands on something like this, seeing it in person, is what's really going to impress us and give us the feel. I will be doing my video review as soon as, because I got books with you right now for the new cases. I can't wait to get them. I'm going to be doing a review.
Yep.
But just seeing it on camera, I mean, I'm looking at this case right now, and it competes right there with your top two, your CGC slabs, your CBCS slabs, and that's what I got to say. Looking at it, I know you've actually used this against you, using the the comic skins, but I always say that this has been something that's proven to your ability to succeed in a market that's so impenetrable. You actually were using these comic skin slabs and creating a niche market for something when it maybe shouldn't have never been there, at least how people perceive CGC and CBCS. And so people have used that against you for over 3 years now, right? You're going on your
fourth year. This is our 4th year. Yep.
And but you have overcame. You've continued to push out a solidified product, even with a non-proprietary case, and you push yourself so much, and you've garnered so much more support to get to a point to where we are now here, where you are changing the game, in my humble opinion, with a proprietary case. So, and I do want to preface, guys, we are sponsored. We do have a segment sponsored by Tony, but I'm gonna tell you right now, and Tony, you know this. I will not anything out of my mouth, especially if you guys watched my live stream that I just did on my show. And I'm not going to say anything out of my mouth that I do not believe from my heart and with my heart and soul. Everything I say is a fact and it's true. Tony is not, puppeting any strings on me here. Okay. But let's get into some specific questions. Let's just talk about the blue, the universal label. And I always like to remind people EGS does offer awesome custom labels, but you do have a universal label. And let's bring that up, and let's kind of talk about, you did make some changes to the label. So can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I can see if I can get it up there for you guys to see. But as you can see, it's more now of a traditional gradient style label. What we've done is we've brought the hologram sticker back on the front because a lot of people were calling for that. They like the fact of the hologram sticker. And, again, we changed a little bit of the font. We made the title font a little bit bigger so it stands out. So this is really, kind of more in line with the other guys as far as the standard label. I don't know if you could really see it in there, but in the middle there, we have our helmet logo that's faded in the back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very, I have bad eyes. I'll tell you this. And I know I've given you some, been open with some feedback on your labels. I really like it. It's really clean. I like the change in the font. And although it is hard to see on camera, the logo back there, but I could see it there a little bit. Great branding, in my humble opinion, and it doesn't take away from the legibility, if that's the word, how legible it is, Yep. So I think you've done a very good job there, and just pairing it with the case is truly beautiful. And let's talk about the back. You showed the back a little bit. Very basic. Now that's your website, and then what's underneath?
Yeah, what we did is, we basically gave it a little border. Instead of it just being one color, we thought having it a border around it would make it pop a little bit more in the back, since we don't have that hologram in the back anymore. So the website is across the label. The cert number is underneath it. And again, on the back, we did the same thing to where there is a helmet, but it's recessed back on the back. So awesome. Those were really, and again, guys, these are just for the basic standard free label. So the yellow label is going to look exactly the same, only a different color.
And that's for your signature series?
Correct.
So yeah, Jacob March had a question here. I'm wondering if you have yellow labels for the signature series. Yeah. So you just confirmed that as well.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So
another quick question to identifying numbers, census tracking, and the costs from T-Shoe here.
Identifier number is going to be the number underneath in the back of the website. We do not have a census yet. That is still at least a few years out for us. I mean, that is another really big undertaking, but we do keep track of our books. So every book that we've done, we have a record of it. Right. So, when the time comes and the database is big enough, we could just go ahead and input them all into the census. And I think, what was the other question he had? Did he have another?
The cost.
The cost, a regular modern, if you're just doing a standard submission with a free label, is $20.
Nice. And that's real. I mean, you're really competitive now, especially since you upped the product, proprietary cases, and we're seeing all these price hikes across the board with the other companies. So I want to really recognize that for keeping these prices right now a very, very affordable and extremely competitive.
No reason for us to raise our price. Okay. None.
So you were bringing up a little bit about some tinting to the slab. I want you to talk about that right now, because I think this is very, very important. But Tony, I'll let you kind of tell everyone what you were gonna hint out there and why.
Yeah, well, one of the positive things that have come out with using the actual comic skin, right, is that the comic skin actually had UV protected. And I was able to just kind of, piggyback on that into my case because I thought that, I mean, it's something that people enjoy, I think, and it's important. Yeah. So if you notice when you do get these things, you'll see a little hint of blue, very slight hint of blue. That's the UV that shot into the case. Now, I don't have the numbers of like what
percentage, right?
Yet. So, I won't know that till, we get them in and get them tested. But okay. We do know that there is UV protected getting put in there. So,
and that is awesome because that really, again, this is something else that has EGS to stand out from the other companies because it is not offered. There is a YouTuber, I forget his name out there, who actually he's like a scientist and he does these great videos. He did a video talking about UV protection on slabs. And he did say that there's naturally within the plastic a bit of UV protection naturally because of how light reflects, but it's very, very minimal. So this is essentially the first real official slab grading company that is actually providing an actual UV protectant on their slabs. So again, I applaud you on that and for taking that step there. So, we got no tabs. So just for those that don't know, the prior slabs had security stickers. Want to talk about that and then the sidebars real quick?
Yeah. So on the comic skin, I don't know. I mean, I could show you. I have the Fresh from the Comic Shop August giveaway right next to me, so I can display it. But I don't know if you guys want me to do that.
Let's just do it. Why not?
You want to do it?
Let's go for it.
So if we're using it as an example, all right. So this is
This is the August grand prize right here. Look at that.
There you go. Little Monty Moore action, Lady Death.
Nice.
And as you can see, the top have these hinges. Yep. The side rails here on these black side rails going on each side in the bottom, and then the security sticker and their security stickers on the left and right that are clear. So those are all of that is no longer on the new case. Awesome. This case is really right in line with everybody else's as far as look goes of the case. Now, another important thing is, we felt that, we wanted these new slabs to be stackable. So you could stack your slabs on top of each other and they actually interlock when you stack them. So if you need to stack them on a table or whatever, they're just going to stack really, really easy.
Awesome.
I
saw Comic Noob is talking about wait time. So let me ask you a question about this, and then after this question, we'll kind of
there's a few other questions here we can get.
We'll get to some of the more audience questions. But so I know that you said this in your video. You are anybody that's submitting right now. Well, you did. These cases should be available at the end of the month or first week of September for submissions. So you are giving folks an opportunity if they have submissions that are waiting right now or being submitted right now. If they reach out to you via email, send you an email, that you will hold their submissions for the new slabs. No extra fees, no nothing. It's going to be sat so you can get your new books in the new slabs. This is amazing, and again, I applaud you for doing this. But taking this into consideration, just to add context, looking into, once we get a month out from now, you got the new slabs and you're getting rolling on those. What do you feel wait time is going to look like, and turnaround time, I should say, for folks submitting?
So let me tackle one thing is when I made the video and I said that end of August, first week of September, right? That was the estimated time that I should have those cases here in-house. Okay, that is what the factory told me. Now, again, like turnaround times, they said estimated.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will tell you that I know they are in production, so they're being made. Now, Are there going to be any delays in production? Who knows? Is there going to be any delay in shipping? I mean, things are not really that great with shipping right now, right? But so, I mean, it could be a couple weeks after that. I don't know, but they have told me that they are shooting for those dates, and that is the estimated time. So again, I said, look, if you have an order here and you don't mind waiting, right, until we get them, and you want your books in the new case, just reach out, email us, and we will do that. We will do that for you. So, I mean, listen, I don't want everybody to hold me to, oh, you said last week.
Right.
You can say estimate.
It doesn't happen because, production got delayed a little bit, or something happened and shipping is delayed a little bit. You know how that goes, but
and we know how people are with their turnaround time. You guys get all fickle and sensitive, but I'll tell you what, man, you're going to be waiting a lot less than any other company out there.
Yeah,
that's fact. So I see there's a couple more questions here. Dan asks, is there a different size case for square-bound comics or Golden Age comics?
No, the square-bound and the Golden Age will fit in this case just like they did in the other. Actually, this case is a little bit bigger. So it will have no problem. I want to say the thickest book I could do in this case that I'm using now was an 80-page. I believe like the Action Comics 1000 and all of those, like those really push the limits of the old case. In the new case, it should be no problem. Like I should be able to do 100 pagers in the new case. And just to go back real quick to answer your questions, what are the turnaround times going to look like? I have no idea, because look, I mean, they're 3 months now. Sometimes it goes into 3.5, right? We all know why. I can't get slabs. That's the problem, right? I mean, I can't slab comics if I don't have slabs. So, that's been the main reason why we've been backed up. I mean, because don't forget, we were at 1 month before all of this craziness happened, right? So, but the good part is with these new cases, it's going to cut the time in half that it takes to slab a book
for the process.
Right?
Yeah.
So to me, that's going to really cut into the turnaround times, and hopefully we can get it back. Now, another unknown is how busy am I going to get when this happens? Am I just going to get flooded? Well, if that happens, then it might stay at 3.5 months. It's an unknown that we have to, wait and see.
It's the day and age that we live in. There's a few more questions here. Do you have QR codes, and can you change the color of the back label?
Can you change the color of the back? No. Okay. All the back labels are universal. They're a universal back label, but of course you could do anything to the front. You can customize the front. QR codes, again, that is something that would be in the future. Right now we feel like the COA that you get. I mean, a lot of people like the fact that, they get a COA that comes with every book, right? That's got the grader's notes and everything right on there. So you don't have to, take your time on your phone and hit a QR code and then go. It's right there in front of you. Now, will it stay like that forever? I mean, probably not. I mean, we might go to something like that in the future, but as of right now, man, our main thing is to transition into these new case. That's priority number one. And once that happens, then we start looking to do other things.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions here.
Sorry to cut you off. I don't know. I really think personally for me, we could sit here all night and take a lot of questions. What I would encourage you guys to do, if you have more questions, is really head over to EGS's YouTube, watch that video. I know Tony won't be live with you there, but he goes into depth with a lot more of this stuff. Plus, if you leave some comments there, I know you'll get some replies and get some answers. But we absolutely have a lot more of a show to do tonight, so we want to make sure we get to all the other fun stuff. I do want to give I want to give a final word for Tony right here, if you may, Tony, because I love speaking on things like this and having you here. I'm telling you this. I'm speaking to you for you to know how much I appreciate what you do, and I'm telling it to the audience to really allow the audience to get my perspective on what I think EGS is and what it's doing and where it's going. As I said, introducing you, this is a game changer. I will be doing a video as soon as I get my hands on these new cases. I think right now there is no doubt that you are a solidified company that is going to be doing things within this industry for a long time to come. I always said this too. EGS doesn't need to be CGC. EGS doesn't need to be CBCS. EGS is its own company, and I want everyone to realize that. Now, there's a lot of issues within the grading industry that we could talk about. That's something else. And what I'm talking about is the secondary market and value. I mean, that's something that people cling to. They clench their cheeks and they just cling to, who gets the secondary? I'm going to put aside for a minute here, and I want everyone to open their minds, because I want to open the doors to what's happening right now. I said this a million times before. The grading industry is a baby still. It is a baby. And when you have a baby that is born and gets a head start and starts walking on its own years before anybody else, it's gonna have privileges and advantages, but it doesn't mean it's always gonna stay like that. I encourage you guys to give EGS a chance with these new slabs. Get a book, spend $20 plus shipping and taxes, whatever it may be. A few more dollars on a nice custom label if you're into that. If not, the blue labels are beautiful. Get yourself a book and see for yourself, make your own decision. And the more that we do this and the more that we start the conversation of what different companies have to offer, that secondary market value will fall in line, guys, and it's going to start shifting. Tony, you have so much work to do. You do. This is a good thing. EGS has so much work to do to continue to evolve and to move forward. Like, you guys brought up so many great questions today. A census, QR codes, et cetera, all these things. Time, guys. Like I said, Tony's been doing this for 3+ years, going into his 4th year with almost what's the word I'm looking for? Like with the odds stacked up against him, and he made it this far. I have no doubt that, Tony, you're going to keep going, and we're going to be sitting here a year from now, and it's going to be on a whole nother level. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the changes and the evolution that this company's going to see. With that being said, Jeff, I don't know if you want to jump in and say something. And I after that, I do want to give Tony a chance to kind of have a final word as well.
Yeah. I just want to say real quick, not on top of everything that Chris said, you're also, an active member in this community, which means a lot. People know you by name. Do they know? They don't know CGC's person by name or CBCS's person. I'm using person because I don't know that person. But you are accessible. You are a collector yourself, and you wanted to see. You saw an issue, and you try to make that issue. You try to come up with a solution for that issue. I applaud you, and it's crazy. You're going against like giants of the industry here, and you're going into your 4th year. So kudos to you. Kudos to you for being just a great human being. And I'm grateful for you being involved in our show and us being, friends with you. So we'll leave the last word to you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. I'm just, like I said, Chris, you bring up a good point to where, we don't want to be CGC, we don't want to be CBCS. We don't want to be PGAs. We do things different. Some people have a little issue with people doing things different, and other people are like, wow, I really like that they're different, right? So, really the only thing that is really remotely the same or is the same is really probably going to be the holders, right? Because our labels are different, our customer service is different, our grading is different. That's another thing a lot of people don't understand. When you get an EGS grade, you're not getting a CGC grade. You're not getting a PGX grade. You're not getting a CBCS grade. We have, that's the thing. We all come up to that little number in the circle. We all come up to that differently, right? At least we tell you, look, this is what we're using to get to that number. You don't know how these other guys, what they're doing to get to that number. So, yes, our grade is probably going to be different, right? I mean, because if you don't know how other people are getting there, how do you expect a grade to be the same? So even that's different, right? But, the great part about it is we're here to try to make a difference, right? I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to come out and say, look, guys, there's a better way. Like, you might not like the way we grade, but at least we're telling you how we're getting there, or, maybe you still think the other guys' case might be a little bit better. Well, everybody's got their own, opinion. But again, like you said, we don't have to be other people. We're here for you. That's why we're here. And, the secondary market's going to take care of itself, like you said. So, we're really excited about this new era that's starting. Like this case is starting like a new era. Yes. For us that I think is really going to start letting us make some hay in this industry, because I think more eyes are going to be on us. We're going to be able to get to conventions and all sorts of things. So, we're really excited. Listen, I have put a big financial burden on myself doing this. So, but I did it because I know it's going to pay off, and I know it's going to be a better product for us and a better product for everybody else. And in the long run, it's going to help us in so many, different ways. And I can't wait, Chris. I can't wait till you get your books in the new slab. There'll be some other YouTubers that'll be getting, some slabs that they're going to be able to show off. And I can't wait till you guys show them off, because, you guys do it so much better than I do. The way I show off the slab, I mean, you guys do a much better job. So they're going to look a lot better when you guys do it. So, but other than that, man, it's been a pleasure doing this with you guys. I thank you for letting me be a part of this. And I'm excited for the future. I really am.
We're excited for you. We're glad you bet on yourself, because you have a product that should be bet on. And we completely believe in what you got going on. Again, guys, this could be the last canon if you don't follow EGS Comics on YouTube, and we don't get to 733 subs. So make it happen. Also, EGS Comics on the Instagram as well. You have to be following both of those to win fresh from the comic shop the grand prize. Just to let you know, which we're coming up soon. The perfect way to close out this segment, because I think this is a fantastic idea. Tony, make this happen. Glow in the dark labels for the 90s glow in the dark variants. Make it happen.
Oh wow, man. That would be
right.
That would be sick.
Prince Zodiac, yes.
I don't know how I would do it. But
figure it out. You've been around for 4 years now, and you're still here. You could definitely figure that out. No doubt about that.
That would be sick.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
100%.
End game. That's the end game.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Tony's not going anywhere. Maybe we'll have time for some more questions at the end. I know you guys are a little disappointed. because some Tishu's like, you got to bring Tony back.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stay around later if you to answer more questions if you guys want.
Absolutely. All right, but for right now, Chris, we're going to get into a segment that you take the lead on because you do such a fantastic job of dissecting the top 10 hottest comics of the week. Now, we're talking about the top 10 look back, props or flops. What we do is we go off of Cover Price's top 10 hottest comics of the week. That comes out on Monday. That list comes out on a Monday. Chris lets it marinate for the week, and towards the end of the week, literally 7 days later, he looks at the totality of this list and picks out a few interesting books. Usually it's 3, sometimes it's the whole list. I don't know. We're working on this segment still. This is not how it's going to stay, but for right now, this is it. Right here, right now. We're going to get right into the top 10 hottest comics of the week from last week. Chris, do you have anything to add about this segment, though?
No, let's roll. I mean, we're doing the standard. I picked 3. We're going to talk about them. We're going to crunch numbers, and I'm excited about it.
So let's just do it. Get into the top 10 look back, props or flops. The top 10 hottest comics of the week based off of Cover Price's list from Monday is at number 10, Invincible Iron Man. Number 9, the first appearance of Riri Williams, a.k.a. Ironheart. At number 9, we have Black Panther. Number 1 from 1998, the first appearance of Koye and Nakia. At number 8, we have Incredible Hulk. 449, the first Thunderbolts. Nori Jordan, are you here? At number 7, we have Astonishing Ant-Man. Number 6, the first appearance of Cassie Lang as Stinger. Number 6, we have Avengers 267, the first appearance of the Council of Kangs. At number 5, we have Avengers 268, the Council of Kangs Part 2. At number 4, we have Savage She-Hulk. Number 1, the first appearance of She-Hulk. At number 3, we have Paper Girls. Number 1. By the way, guys, I started watching last week. I'm enjoying this show. At number 2, we have X-Men 200. At number 1, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. Number 1, Chris. I like this list. Tony, your thoughts?
I like it. I mean, I definitely like the list. Some really good stuff on there. I think a lot of classics. Let's just say there's some good classics there.
By the way, Nori Jordan is here, and he hopes that Hulk 449 isn't a flop. Chris, let's get into that.
Yeah.
449. It's definitely not a flop, though.
No. That's a solid book. I like this list. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You probably know I've been a bit drained on doing these top 10s. Just the same thing every week. Oh, this was optioned. Oh, we got a trailer for this. I will say, though, coming out of San Diego Comic-Con and what Marvel did, and that's why you see everything's Marvel except for Paper Girls number 1. This is where I get behind the hype. Like, this isn't just people sitting with their FOMO like, oh, there was an option or a trailer, so I need to FOMO out and get it because it's going to make me rich, or I need to flip
the next Miles Morales.
Yeah, right. This is like people are sitting here anticipating all of this awesomeness from Marvel over Phase 5 and Phase 6, and it's really just I could get goosebumps talking about it. So when you bring up that list one more time,
you got it.
You see that. We got the Secret Wars announcement. We She-Hulk's coming. We got the Kang Dynasty. I mean, it's going to be huge. We know Thunderbolts are coming. People are just excited about that. The trailer for Black Panther. I mean, how emotional and just, oh God, I just got chills. People are excited for Riri. We got our first look, the ode to Tony in the cave, and so much goodness. So, Paper Girls being up there too, good stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know, but let's go into my 3 picks, guys. My number 1, it's actually my number 3 pick is Avengers 267, first appearance of the Council of Kangs. Now, this is a book that I talked about when I do my top 10, sleeper keys to invest in for the MCU or something. This book was something I talked about probably about 2 years ago now almost. And, when it was a $3 to $4 book, and it's been paying off. Now, I want to preface this, guys. props or flops in these books. This isn't a shopping list, and I'm not going to give it props or flops based on if you should buy it right now. You probably shouldn't buy most of these books right now. You missed out if you think about the price that they're at and if they're going to go up in the short term and if you can flip them unless you get a really good deal. Let's move that out of the way and let's just talk about these books. This book had a 100% upward trend in sales. Now, last week when it hit the top 10, the high 9.8 was $350. This week's high, there was none. All right. Now, what does this say in red? Missing data on coverprice.com because they incorrectly stated that the high sale last week was $299. I love Cover Price. I am a paying member of, but I will tell you guys with any data source, it could be wrong. They can make mistakes, and you always got to be careful of that. And in this situation, Cover Price made a mistake on the data. So you always got to do your own research, and that's why I do that. Now, here's some context. A 9.8 newsstand sold last week as well for $625. That was a buy it now purchase. Crazy. I'm going to talk about this. There's 94 9.8 copies on the census. The census doesn't differentiate newsstand versus direct, and it should. It absolutely should. When you go and look on eBay sold, there's definitely more 9.8 sold that are direct. This book came out in 1986. You still had roughly a 50-50 market of newsstand versus direct then. So I don't like to put too much hype on newsstand from this age, from this year. But when you talk about 9.8s, that could still be a good argument because, well, even though maybe it was 50-50 on the market, you had a lot of newsstands that were returned for credit and ripped up. And you may not have as many high grades because of how they were treated. So while I can understand a premium going for a newsstand of this, $625 is absolutely nuts, especially for a buy it now. You know what it tells me? It tells me that this wasn't a bidding war where people could maybe set the tone even. This was a random seller saying, I'm going to set it at a price and hopefully somebody takes the bait. And guess what? Somebody took the bait because they needed it now and there's no basis for a fair market value. So guys, if another book and this is a newsstand 9.8, don't just spend $600 on it because of this sale. Don't do it unless you just want to blow your money. Fine. All right. Last week's average raw, $34 when it hit the top 10. This week, $28. There was also incorrect data on Cover Price with a stated average raw to be $50. That is inaccurate. I went back to that last week and I didn't even accumulate all of the sales from that week. I took the first 5 days and I got a $34 average. If I would have took all 7 days, it would have been lower than $34. So again, this book, while there have been higher sales like within the 60s, probably for near mint raw copies, was never averaging $50. And you got to take average raw with a grain of salt. They're not taking into consideration the grade of the book. You can have one beat up copy that throws it off and sells for $2. You can have one near mint 9.8 potential copy that sells for $80 that throws it off, that skews the average. Be careful, guys. Props or flops for this book. I am going to give this book a absolute props, and this is why. And again, not because you should go pay $350 for it right now. Not because this book may not cool down at some point, because it can. But because I told you guys that this was a solid book to invest in for $4, $5, $6 a year or two ago. And it was, because if you sold it right now, you're making money. Now, I also believe that while we shouldn't put so much into movie speculation, especially for villains, I think Kang is going to be freaking amazing. And while I do feel that this book can continue to spike, It can continue to increase. I do believe that it can absolutely cool off as well. There could be absolute volatility in this book. And again, that's not why I'm giving it props. This book is, in my humble opinion, never going to be a $3, $4, $5 book ever again. And that's why I give this book props.
Tony, real quick, props or flops on Avengers 267.
Oh man, this is a tough one for me, but I think at the end of the day, I think what Chris said is true. I don't think this is ever going to be a $5 book ever again. Even if Kang doesn't do well in the MCU, I don't see it ever going back down to that level. So I give it a props. I give it a props. I think this definitely is going to have some staying power. And of course, if Kang does well in the MCU, forget it. So I think this is a solid props for me.
I'm going to agree with you guys there too. I think it's a props for one statement. Kevin Feige said there will be multiple versions of Kang. That's it. Moving on. What do you got, Chris?
Whew. All right, guys. Second book. My number 2 book is the non-Marvel book, Paper Girls. Paper Girls number 1. Jeff, I binged this. I watched the first episode. What day is it? It's Sunday. I watched the first episode on late night Friday when I came home from being out of town, and I unpacked. And then I lounged all evening after cleaning and unpacking yesterday, and I watched the rest, the whole season. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. It was awesome. I don't know if I own this book. I might, because I own a lot of Image number 1s from the last 10 years. I never read it. I was never big on even paying any attention to it. But now I am. Now I'm like, oh man, I want to go read it. Let's look at these numbers. 101% upward trend in sales. Last week's high, CGC 9.8, was 130. This week's was a little lower at 117. But again, don't just look at highs. This book over the last 2 weeks has been trending around the $100 mark for a 9.8, which I think, considering, is still decently affordable. Last week's high raw was 20. This week's was 25. It's been sitting at a $15 to $25 book in that range for a long time. Now, this book has been sitting at a roughly $100 9.8 book for a long time as well. It was a little bit over a year ago, I think last spring, when we got the announcement that this book ballooned in a 9.8 for hitting above $200, $250. That right there was FOMO. That right there was the ridiculousness of people thinking, oh, it's a comic book's option. I need to go FOMO and spend hundreds of dollars. And even with the show released, it's still not even hitting what it was at during that time, because it's just unsustainable. All this crazy FOMO over option items, properties, is not sustainable. Even for Marvel stuff, sometimes it's ridiculous. And I've talked about this. But I'm not talking about what happened 16 months ago to this book. I'm talking about what it's doing right now. To me, people aren't FOMOing over this book right now. There is a high supply out there. And quite honestly, I don't see paying $100 for a 9.8 in this book as being extremely horrible, especially with how the 9.8 market has been so crazy. I think that buying this book raw for $15 to $20 is decent too. I love this show. It followed, not to say that it's Stranger Things. It's not Stranger Things at all, but it follows something that Stranger Things did, which is the Goonies-like nostalgia, where you have these young kids going on adventure, sci-fi, even a little bit of horror type suspense. Obviously, it's not a horror show, but you get, that type of suspense with it as well. And it's just overall fun and adventure. And us as, anybody in their 30s or 40s or even older now, like that grew up watching The Babysitter's Club or Goonies or, even like I mean, just stuff like that, like even E.T. and stuff. Like we can look at these and there's so much nostalgia there. But then you can even be young kids watching this and this is what's going to be nostalgic to you, 20, 30 years down the line. And they did such a really good job. And because people aren't FOMOing over this book and paying $300 or $400 for a 9.8 of this book, I'm giving it props. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that this is a book to invest in. It's going to make you rich. No. But I'll tell you, if you're, like I said, if you're into slabs, which I'm not, I will never buy this book in a 9.8. I'll never spend $80, $100, $115 for the, I have no need. Will I spend $20 for a number one of this book raw? I might. Why not? I'll go buy the trade if I want to read it, but I wouldn't mind. I give this book props just because I think that a lot of people buying this book, there's plenty out there. They're buying it because they're watching the show and they're really enjoying what they're watching. And you can't go wrong with that type of scenario. I cannot give this book a flops, even though I'm not, it's not an investment book, folks. It's not an investment book. Still giving it props.
All right, Tony, your quick thoughts.
Oh boy. So here's my issue with, first of all, I haven't seen the show. So I don't know. Here's what I would say. I think if the show is good, it puts it in a category with like The Boys, Stranger Things, right? To me, I think, my question is anybody going to care about this 20 years from now? When the shows are over and 10 years go by, is this going to stand the test of time? It's an unknown, right? So
can I answer your question personally? Because I think that your question adds to what I was saying. I will agree. Like, I don't think so. That's why I said this isn't an investment book. There's no staying power in terms of investment. And there's so many out there. But what I do think is that people that own them now or people that find the show later on will find inherent value in the book. And when I say value, I'm not even talking monetary. So
right.
Yeah. But continue on.
And again, to me, it's based on if people like it or not. Right. So, buy what you like. Right. I mean, so
that's it.
So it's hard for me to really say if it's a flop or a prop, but I'll probably say, man, I mean, look, if the show is good, the book is good. I mean, I have to give it a prop. I think it'll last a test of time.
Okay, so props me. Here's my thing, guys. I really enjoy this show. Like, I'm in episode 6, I would say, or 7. I'm really enjoying it. But me personally, I would just buy the digital copy. I'm not gonna buy this. So to spend that kind of money, it's a flop for me. I'm not gonna spend anything over what I would pay for the digital copy. So all of the data that you pulled, Chris, on what it's going for right now, there's no way. And for that reason, it's a flop because again, I will not collect this book personally. I will read it in the digital format. And that's why. But I really, really enjoy the show. As Chris said, I love the Goonies analogy, the Stranger Things analogy. If you guys are into any of that stuff, also time travel in general, it's fantastic. It is so well done. Acting is superb. Ali Wong, you've never seen her like that. So
let me ask you a question, Jeff. Are you a Goonies fan?
Yeah.
Would you collect Goonies memorabilia? Like,
no.
So
I would get a T-shirt here and there, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay, man, what's the comic book that you own from your childhood that you have because of it's another property, like a movie, a TV show, or a cartoon. Do you own a comic book that is something from you, that's a different type of property, a toy property?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, Chris. I am trying to think. I mean, for some reason, I have Toxic Avenger, and I've never been into those films.
I have a point that I'm trying to make here, because, and I know, and Jeff, I know you may think I'm riding your ass right now because
I'm good with it. But I'm really trying to think.
I noticed that you often base your props or flops on on your personal preference, and that's perfectly fine. But because you do that, I like to play devil's advocate with you, because remember, I just said, what would I buy? I'd buy the trade.
That's why we need to change this segment. Yeah, and Tony brought it up. What you love,
I wouldn't even, I'm saying $20 for this book is cool if you're enjoying the show and you want. I wouldn't even pay. I'd buy the trade paperback first, but I still gave it a props. So, and I'm asking you this question because I think, like, if Transformers #1, obviously it's worth a good amount of money.
I would go Transformers.
If Transformers #1 though wasn't like a key book, but there was still like Transformers as a cartoon show still meant something to me, I wouldn't mind paying $20 just to own that book.
I would.
As a nostalgic collector's item, and that's why I said answer Tony's question too. Yeah. I don't know. This isn't like an investment book for comic collectors. It's a fun collectible item for people that enjoy the show, that might be willing to drop $20 just so they're like a big Paper Girl fan. They enjoy the show and they have a Paper Girls comic book, something like that. So I think at the end of the day, there's reasons why people are buying this book. And I honestly think that a lot of people buying this book aren't doing it for those investment or FOMO reasons. And because I'll tell you again, if this book shot up to $300 or $400 and a 9.8, I would have given it a flops, because then it tells me that people are buying this book because they're FOMOing on it, thinking that it is of investment value. And I align with the both of you. There is nothing there that tells me that it's going to do that.
Yeah.
Right, again, we need to work on this segment and refine.
Let me just say one thing. The only reason I ever bought the first appearance of He-Man is because I loved the He-Man cartoons when I was a kid. And that's the only reason why I bought the book, right? So look at it now. I didn't buy it for an investment. I bought it because I watched the cartoons and I loved He-Man, and I bought the comic.
I would do that with Transformers. That was a good one to pull out there, Chris. Or G.I. Joe, which I did own that G.I. Joe #1. Anyways, we're not talking about me or my opinion. Your last pick of the week, Chris. What do you got?
All right, guys. My #1 is the #1 book. I like when that happens. Secret Wars #1. More specifically, Marvel superheroes. Secret Wars #1 from 1984, not from 2015. But we know why this book made the list, and I'm excited for it. Let's look at the numbers. 122% upward trend in sales because we got an announcement of an Avengers Secret Wars. It's official. Super hyped. Last week's high, 9.8. After we got that announcement, when it hit the top 10 list, $1,050. A 9.8 newsstand sold that same week for $11.99, not much more. This week's high, CGC 9.8, sold for $850. When we're looking at the high values, that is a 19% a decrease in value. But what do I always say? Don't get caught up on highs, guys. That 1050 was a little bit of an outlier. There were a couple more that hit in the 900s, but look, a little bit of FOMO there once we got that announcement, because it's a huge announcement. So I could see a few bidding wars and then people kind of cooling off over the next week and it kind of settling down. I don't look at an 850 to a 1050 as being some huge drop at all. It's just a couple of sales right after the announcement where people just were willing to pay a little bit more. There's a lot of books. There's a good amount of these books out there. 850 is a solid value right now. And we can see kind of what's been going on with the average raw, 45 next to 42 this week, trending kind of in a similar state. So this is another book that I've talked about on, keys to invest in. I think like last year, I think when it had a fair market value of like $20, an average fair market value of $20, it's since then seemingly doubled in price when you consider average. And again, you got to take averages with a grain of salt. But I know, again, ebb and flow will happen on spec books, even with MCU stuff. We saw what happened with Thanos' first appearance, a decent drop after Endgame. It's gone back up. It's been going back up in a very healthy manner, even with the downturn of the market. Why? Because it's a key book. It's a Bronze Age key, and those characters are awesome, and they'll always be there in the MCU. And we always have that as part of our comic book culture in history. I think the same thing's going to happen with Secret Wars. I think this is going to be something that's going to, be a standing event, both in cinematic terms and in books. And I'll say this again. I do believe it's going to incorporate some of the 1984 and some of the 2015 story arcs. So I think that this book's bump in demand is absolutely valid. Now, it's probably some ways out still. We could see this book cool off. Is this a good time to buy? Not saying that. You might want to chill. Haste makes waste. Be patient. Once we get a trailer, or maybe we get a confirmation of casting of the Beyonder, this book is going to be selling for more than it is right now. So you never know. I give this book, and Jeff, this might be the first time we've ever done this, giving this book a props.
Woo! Hat trick.
Yep, all props. Because here's the thing, like I said, though, guys, be careful. We're in a volatile time with this book. It could cool, but it could spike again once we get any type of announcement. And once the movie comes out, it could take a good, decent dip. But I do believe that this is a solid, long-term investment. I believe whatever happens in the next few years, the ups and downs, the ebb and flow, the volatility, in 10 years' time, it's going to recoup all of that. So even if you buy it at a high and it dips down after the movie's release, 10 years from then, I think you're going to recoup that cost and it's going to set new floors. I do believe this. It's just my humble opinion. But be careful. I wouldn't buy 9.8. Say that all the time. I want to buy no book at a 9.8. Go find yourself a high raw and try to get a 9.8. Press it, clean it. But give this book a props. I'm so excited for a Secret Wars film. 3 props, man.
Tony.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer for me. This is a solid props. I mean, number one, I remember I was 13, 14 years old working in a comic shop, and when this series came out, it was like the greatest thing to ever happen on Earth. I mean, the story, all these heroes together. I mean, to me, it's always been, to me, one of those iconic books, to me, because before that, there was never really anything like that happened. I mean, when you have an ensemble like that. So, one other thing too, Chris, is I think you'll agree with me here. Why it's a solid props is because this book, to me, doesn't need a movie, right? Yeah. Because look, after all these years, this book has steadily gone up.
Yep.
I mean, it's never gone down. It's just steadily, little by little, up every year. And whether there's a movie or not, it's still going to go up every year. Yeah. So, to me, it's just it's a solid prop.
And we're gonna get the hat trick here too. It's complete props for me. Like, it's iconic. I think it really, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of brought in the events series, right? The big events, right? So it laid the groundwork for what they are now, which are annoying right now. They're all over the place, but it's amazing. But for me, the toys, just having memory of those toys, of they had the little hologram shields or whatever they were. Like, I loved everything about it. And like, again, Chris, I'm going with my personal, like, preference. I'm not going to spend that much money on a 9.8. No way. But man, I would. What were we looking at for a Raw here, guys?
Yeah, around 40 on average. But some of the highs, there was a couple highs that there was one that hit over 100. I didn't even compute it in the average because it's such an outlier. But there were some that were hitting in the 80s, a couple. I mean, you're thinking high grade on average, probably anywhere from 50 to 60 right now. So
interesting, Mark Leneker. So Secret Wars was an answer to the superpowers from DC, which I remember those toys vividly. I freaking love those, all of those toys. So fascinating stuff. Chris, you did an excellent job once again dissecting the top 10 hottest comics of the week's props or flops. The look back. We'll probably have a new. Chris and I are going to rework this segment somehow, but we'll probably have another list next week. Yeah, we just got to find time in the day for everything we do. All right. Speaking of, we're running out of time for this show. Chris has to cook dinner. I got to get up early tomorrow, and Tony has to start grading some comics. Get to work, Tony. But what we do here is it's a little segment that actually Tony's company EGS sponsors. Chris, can you tell us what it is? What are we doing again?
Fresh from the comic shop.
That's right, Fly from the Pressing Salon. We ask you, the fine audience, to send us your fresh gets each and every week. Send it on Instagram. Use the hashtag FFTCS, even though it doesn't work. Make sure you tag the picture with us on there. That will work. If you tag us and do hashtag FFTCS, make it happen. It can't hurt to tag us and put the FFTCS in the description as well. We love this segment. We love Tony and what he brings to the segment with EGS Comics. By the way, we need to get to 733, or this is the last canon. 733 subs for EGS Comics, or this is the last canon. I don't know, Chris, if you want to do a check. While we do, I'm going to admit to something here, and I think Joe is in the room.
We're getting close. 5 more.
Yep.
It's the link is down below. Follow EGS on YouTube, or this is the last comic book canon we ever produced. I messed up big time, guys. I did not set off the last vote for the finals for July, and here we are. It's got probably 12 more hours left. Let me see where we are here. It's got the Venom versus the Umbrella Academy. 56% is Venom, or 56% is Umbrella Academy. 44% is Venom, as you can see right there. Go to our stories and give it a vote. We'll have an answer by tomorrow. Who is going to win this amazing slab? Tony, tell us what it is.
It is Star Wars Darth Vader number 20, the second print, which is the silver front. So
the Beskar is what they call it.
Yep, the Beskar. So
it's gorgeous.
That's a beauty.
I love the Baby Yoda and the Mando in the top right there. That's good stuff right there. But right now, before we get into Fresh from the Comic Shop, Chris, tell them how they can, what they do to submit and the 3 criteria we're looking for.
Yeah, guys, you got to post your fresh gets on the gram, on the IG, on Instagram. We've been having troubles with the hashtag, but keep on hashtagging us hashtag FFTCS. But make sure you're tagging Comic Book Canon. That's going to help us get to them. You can also tag me at journos_comics if that helps as well. But 3 criteria.
Oops, that's not what we want.
Yeah, we are looking for Yep.
This is how you do it. You post.
Yep.
You find the book.
Oh, look at that.
You tag it. You use hashtag FFTCS, but you also tag us.
Yep.
I think we showed this before. Anyways, Chris, you can keep talking. I just wanted to accompany it with video.
Beautiful. Showing you how it's done. But make sure, guys, we're looking for presentation, man. Do something awesome with your setup. Get some good lighting in there. Add some props. We're looking for uniqueness. It doesn't have to be $1 million grail. It could be a book that you bought out of a 50-cent bin. But if it's unique and tell a story behind it, if it's it means something to you, it's personal, something that you did with your kids or whatever, those are the things that are going to pique our interest to help you become a semifinalist.
Yeah, I love Joe tells me to charge my phone from that video. Thank you for reminding me. All right, now we already announced it, but let's just pretend like we didn't. The grand announcement of what the August slab will be. Tony, tell us all about it.
Yep, this is Lady Death Treacherous Infamy #2. This is cover by the great Monty Moore himself. So any of you who know Monty and his stuff, he is just sick. Yeah, man, this is just a really gorgeous looking cover.
Yep. It's gorgeous looking cover, gorgeous looking slab. Tony, can we confirm this is in the new case?
No, this one is not.
My bad.
This one is not. Hopefully September. If not, then it should definitely be October in the
and wait to start showing those off from Fresh from the Comic Shop. All right, once again, presentation. Get creative with your photos. Give it be artistic with it. Have it connect with the actual cover and what you'll see a few of those examples there. A unique book doesn't have to be $1 million book, but something that's unique that we haven't seen before. And also the story is important. Pull at our heartstrings. Connect it to something in your life. It's the first book you ever got, or it reminds you of your father, or what have you. Let's have fun with it. All right, here we go. I'm yelling and talking real fast because I have to get up early tomorrow, and I apologize. Here we go. First, we got C to the G. Finally recovered from San Diego Comic-Con 2022. It was great to be at a con again after 2-year hiatus. Love the vibe of the crowd this year, and as always, San Diego is a great place to visit. Hopefully, I can run it back next year. A couple of days before the con, shout out to Drunk Wookie, friend of the show, posted this book, and being the Star Wars fan that I am, I had to have it. I was able to find one on the show floor and grab one immediately. This cover's too good to pass up. Star Wars Crimson Reign, #5, The Unknown Comics, Tyler Kirkham Virgin Variant. That's a really, really nice cover, guys. By the way, I do want to say that Tony will not be deciding the semifinalists today. It will be Chris and I because it's a conflict of interest, but he can comment on all of these as well. Moving on, we got Marvel Man 616 Comics, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 23, featuring for the first time She-Hulk battling the Abomination, and we know why. That's definitely timely because we are going to see interaction between Abomination and She-Hulk. I don't know if they're going to fight. Time will tell. Moving on, we got Comic Noob. 2 more defenders off the list trying to complete a run. Dan De La Torre, do you approve? Let us know.
Yes.
All right. Tony, do you have books to show off? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, I have. Yep, I do. I got some fresh gets, man.
One at a time.
Yep. So this one is Vampirilla Year 1.
Nice cover.
That is a Colette Turner.
Oh, she's awesome.
Cover. She's awesome.
That's a great cover.
Yeah. So that is one of my fresh gets this week for sure.
Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. I just want to say there's an update to those Defender books, guys. Dan De La Torre approves. Thank you for that, Dan. We miss you, man. We miss being next to you, smelling your musk. He smells good, guys, by the way. That's the first time we met him in person. That's too much information, I'm sure. All right, it's getting awkward. Moving on, we got Mark Leneker, always bringing the heat. For my Fresh from the Comic Shop, here's some Bronze Age Spidey goodness with Amazing Spider-Man 134, the first appearance of the Tarantula. The cover teases a surprise supervillain, but all we get is some guy named the Punisher. Whatever happened to him? Chris, your thoughts on this book right here?
So again, proper context. Second appearance of Punisher in cameo. 135, second full appearance of the Punisher.
There you go. There you go. You had to check somebody. I'm not going to name names, but that was a long time ago. Moving on, we got Azores Tiger. I hope they bring Doom out the right way in the MCU, as do we all. I don't think we want to see any connection with Daredevil in the way we first see Doom, right? Can we all agree to that? We want to see Fantastic Four or Wakanda or something. So there's rumors that he may come out in Black Panther 2, but he's just, anyways. All right, I'm not making any sense. Jacob Comics, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Did I not put down? Oh, there it is. Got my Wolverine limited series back this week from grading. So happy to have them in the PC. Wolverine has always been my favorite X-Men character. I pressed and cleaned these books myself, so my heart was fully in getting those grades. Huge sigh of relief, comic fam, to have them home in all higher grades. Congratulations on that, Jacob. Chris, what is your first fresh get of the week? What do you got?
All right, guys. So I had some Whatnot credit, and I got, what should I do first? Let's do this one first. Awesome 15th center here. And I'm just riding the Daredevil train because we got that cool Daredevil. We did it in the news on She-Hulk, yellow costume. No yellow costume Daredevil, but still. Daredevil 56. Awesome.
That's a cool cover.
15 cent. Yeah. And I paid $5.
Oh, God, get out of here.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. A great get right there, man. Good stuff. All right, moving on to you fine people in the audience. Again, if you don't see your book here in the show, please let us know. We do our best to track down everything after this fiasco of the hashtags not working well. We know we're not seeing all of them because we had so many more submissions before this went on. So please let us know. Moving on, we got Into Oblivion. I'm blessed to have upgraded from a 3.0 to a 6.0 during this hard time and recession I'm going through. Had to sell a lot of books, including my Doctor Strange 169. Glad to have it back in the PC. Doctor Strange 169, formerly titled Strange Tales, first solo title Doctor Strange issue, origin of Doctor Strange retold, first appearance of Charles Benton, later becoming Asmodeus. Very glad to hear you're jumping back into things, and glad to hear things are going a little bit better for you there, Into Oblivion. Glad to see you back. Comic Demon. A lot of great books to get into, plus some great looking covers. Comic Demon always sends a ton of books, but I just figured these Garbage Pail Kids look pretty cool. I'm sure. I know Tony and Chris will agree with me. Speaking of Tony, what do you got for your second fresh get of the week?
All right. This I just picked up this week, too. It's a new title. This is the New Champions of Shazam, the Joshua Middleton
cover. Woo!
Cover.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a gorgeous cover, man.
Gorgeous. Yep.
Oh my God.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Listen, one of the few bright spots was Shazam in the DCEU. I'm psyched to see that movie, and I'm psyched to see her. I think they recast the I think they recast her. Yeah. But either way, I'm excited. I can't wait. All right, moving on. We got Raw Dog Comics. Star Wars. When I was 8 years old, my dad came up to me and said, Dan, guess what movie we're going to see today? I said, what? He said, Star Wars. I said, okay. And we went to the theater, and the line to get in wrapped around the whole theater twice. Then my dad said, Dan, guess what? We're not going to go see Star Wars today. Being 8, I shrugged and said, oh, well. But I eventually saw it, and the rest is history. Pictured as Star Wars, Darth Vader, number 25, somewhere in the Dagobah system. Remember, collect what you love. Enjoy the rest of your summer, everyone. That's a fantastic story. Because, listen, and I think I replied as such, Star Wars, for me, and I think a lot of other people, is about family, because my dad took me to see Star Wars. I was 4. I didn't understand a damn thing, but I loved the whole experience, and that was the first movie I saw. All right, guys, here's my first fresh get. Oh, shoot, we skipped me. I guess I'll do my first fresh get. Guys, this is Alpha Flight number 5. Great John Byrne cover, great puck cover. But the reason I like picking these up, especially for $2, is it's the first appearance of Elizabeth Tu Youngman, the daughter of Shaman, who becomes Talisman. She becomes Talisman in issue 19 of this series. So I pick this up whenever I see it. And for $2, it's in great shape too. Yeah. Just throwing that out.
Alpha Flight, underrated run.
Yeah, for real. And they will show up in the MCU. Let's be for real here, guys. They will show up. All right, moving on. Who do we got, guys? Who do we got? Who did I do last? Supercrispy.comics. My fresh from the comic shop this week is coming from San Diego Comic-Con. I picked up the first chapter of I Am Huerta comic, double signed by Brian Pulido and Joel Gomez art. I like that. That is a sweet looking cover right there.
Yeah.
Good stuff there, Super Crispy. Next up, we got Matt Labno, aka 630 Collectibles. Picture the look on Kyle Higgins' face when I asked him to do a sketch of Radiant Black. Although he was hesitant to do it, he ended up sketching this for me. Not too bad for a writer. It's really not. In case you're wondering, the writing says, "For Matt, stay radiant." This is for sure one of my favorite books in my collection. So I am glad to get it back from CGC. Thanks again for the sketch. That's a great story, too, by the way. That's some, again, cojones asking the writer to draw,
right?
To sketch. I've never heard of something like that before. Chris, your second fresh sketch of the week.
Woo. All right. I guess I'll go with my other Whatnot credit pickup. Another beautiful 15 cent. And this is a beautiful higher grade looking book. This is like, just from looking at it, outside of one little rip defect here, I'd still give it a fine, but outside of that, it's a very fine looking book. Hulk number 131.
Oh, nice.
And with some Iron Man, and it is just beautiful. Like very high grade. It has one little rip right here, and you can see that it's bent back. I got to fix that.
How much did you get that one for, you said?
Huh?
You got that one for $5 too?
This one was for 10. And I was bidding. You know, I had $30 of Whatnot credit, right? So I was when that happens, I like to get into one seller that's selling some good stuff because I have to pay shipping still. Yeah. So, you know, it's $5 for the first book, $1 for every other book. So I'm thinking, what'll be worth it? So I got this for I won with the $10 bid, and I won for a $5 bid. So it was $15 of my credit, and I only paid $6 cash shipping. So I basically paid $3 each for these.
That's fantastic. That's great. Loving that. All right, moving on. We got Super Rad. Mail call got one of my personal grails last night. The night Gwen Stacy died is easily my favorite Spidey story of all time. Good stuff right there. It says Brooklyn Bridge. However, I know he's from Texas.
What's he holding?
He's holding a
Spidey Cup.
Yeah, it's a ASM. You know,
300. Yep.
Yeah.
So, 301.
I mean, it's him in the black costume. 300.
Yeah. No, 300 with the black costume. Yep.
Right. 300. So,
man, my eyes are getting bad.
Good stuff. All right. My second fresh get of the week, guys. Again, for $2, got this. This is A-Force number 2. The first appearance of Singularity, who people are speculating is connected to God of Thunder. Chris, we're past the point. I'm not going to
I don't know.
I'll just leave it alone. Anyway, so $2 though, not bad. I won't spoil it, but there's connection there. All right, guys. So that's all the fresh from the comic shops we have this week, and I know we missed some. So please let us know in the comments if we missed yours. I think best, or tag us in the comments of your submission, and we'll show them next week. We promise. Please let us know. It's been insane to try and track these down, and I Chris and I apologize profusely, but this hashtag nonsense, it makes no sense whatsoever because there are people who clearly have hashtagged it correctly and it doesn't show up. So we apologize. Tony, your last fresh get of the week. What do you got?
All right, man. Going out with a bang here. This is another. This is a 616 Comics exclusive, limited to 500. This is a Tiago da Silva. Gorgeous.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh. That's a great cover right there. Goodness.
Yeah, that is just sick.
Wow.
Yeah, again, 500 printed. So that's
nice. Chris, your last fresh get of the week.
All right, I'm gonna go with Tony's theme here. He's got some a theme going on. Obviously, I picked a couple of these up, and man, Greg Land just does an awesome job.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Spider-Gwen Gwenverse #4 variant. Had to pick up more than one copy. Hey,
Jesus.
maybe one of these might be headed to EGS. That's just
You could do some fun stuff with that one for.
Oh,
for
yeah.
EGS.
Yep.
Boom.
Sure.
Good stuff. All right, guys. I'm going to go with my last fresh get of the week, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here, Chris and Tony. We did the show from A1 Comics a couple weeks ago. Chris talks about A1 Comics, and I thought it was a cool shop. I saw pictures of it, but being there, it's a really cool shop with some really crazy deals. Chris, what were the deals? $9 or $10 and under was what?
50% off.
And $10 and above was
20% off.
So I got this. Speaking of Secret Wars, number 10.
Yep.
Listed at $12, so I got it for $8. Or
Yep.
wait, no. Well,
20% off. That's $3.40 off. Or excuse me, $2.40 off.
so I got it for
$9.
$9.
Like nine and some change.
So, yeah, very happy with this.
Yeah.
Great. It's in great condition. I mean, look at this cover.
Yep. And Jeff, it's funny. You know how we do cover prices top 10, right? Well, they have a runner-up list.
Right.
That was number 11.
Number 11. So the first one on the runner-up. Anyways, I found it for $9.60. Like, seriously.
You know what the fair market I have it right here. You know what the fair market value for that book is?
What is it?
Right now, because I was just hold on one second. Is this my email? I'm going to bring it up real quick here. Give me I think this is very important because it shows, the awesome deal you got from A1 and what that book is doing. And that's another book that I had on my books to invest in, like under the radar. And funny enough, Jeff, when I was doing the top 10, when I was picking my books for today, I almost was going to reach out to you and say, Jeff, I don't want to do the top 10. I want to do the runner-ups because it was so awesome what was on this list. And this was one book I wanted to talk about. But Raw Books right now, you got an average of, you got high grade selling for 30, 32, 29, 20. There's a couple $10 sales, $13, $20, $13, 13, 28, 16. So there's one book that hit under 10 at 860, so, and which is probably a lower grade. So I mean, even the sticker price on that, which you didn't pay, even the sticker price on that for the grade that it's in is definitely under, the going fair market value right now. And I think that book is going to continue to get hyped because of two reasons. One, just the speculation of Doom possibly showing up in the MCU, maybe in Wakanda, but also obviously of the Secret Wars announcement.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's very happy to find that in there. By the way, I did see Nori Jordan. We saw Nori Jordan's. We said we'd have it on the show, and for some reason, I don't know. We definitely saw this Nori Jordan. That's Nori Jordan. Hold on, let me go full screen here, and I'll read it off. Look at all that goodness right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. What was said here? I have been pretty busy, so didn't track down any new Thunderbolts books, which is getting harder to do. I did get my Inhumans #5, Devil's Reign #1, the 1 in 200 variant back from CGC. It only took 3 months, which seems reasonable. I also picked up an Avengers 196 CGC 9.4 to replace the 9.2. I sold a few months back. Coincidentally, all of my slabs involve members of the Thunderbolts. Surprise, surprise. Finally, I picked up some copies of the new Daredevil series. Take care, everyone. So apologies for that. Dan De La Torre, you said you sent one. I don't know, man. I didn't see it. Was it the? I don't know. Anyways, guys, please tag us and say, hey, literally tag us. Chris, what should the message be? Hey, you didn't.
Hey, assholes.
you didn't find mine. So whatever, just definitely tag us and leave a message. Chris, we have a decision to make. I have it. I know what I want. I don't know if you have, I have one.
Okay, well, big shout out to Azores. I liked his comic, his post. Big shout out to Jacob. I like the setup. and it was cool. Love the Wolverine. I got 3 though that were sitting as my tops. 630 Matt Labno did a great job. What did he have again? I forget, but I wrote it down.
Yeah, the radio.
Oh yeah, I mean, just so unique. You know, having like just the thought of having a writer do a sketch, and he did it, and it's freaking awesome. By
the way, I did have Nori Jordan here. Jeez, what is?
Oh yeah, there's Nori.
But I didn't write down what he had. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
All right.
Also, I gotta agree with you that Matt Labno one is incredible.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Don't get me wrong. There's some that I really love, but there's one that pulls on my heartstrings.
Yeah. There was a Super Rad.
Yep.
That was solid, man. I connect to it. When I first got that book, it was a book that just meant so much for me. I love that he's in front of the camera.
I was just about to say that. We love seeing you people.
Yep, and I love the Spidey, the McFarlane Spidey cup, the glass, awesome. But I do have one, Jeff, and I don't. If we're on the same page here, I don't know, but
go for it.
You want me to say my number 1?
Yeah, I do.
Raw Dog.
That's my number 1 too, man.
Yeah, buddy.
It's my number 1. Tony, feel free to interject any thoughts, but you can't. You have no say here. But I had to go with this.
Yeah,
I had to go with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had a vote, it would have been between that and the one you just showed last, Super Rad. I think those 2 were definitely the top 2. So, you can't argue with either one to me. I mean.
All right. Well,
yeah, I love the setup.
Yep.
And the story.
Yep.
He's there's a lot going on in this picture, but he definitely has Dagobah there, and just the story too. It just was like it's all. That's a great memory to have. All right, everybody. That's the show right there. Tony, we can't thank you enough for being a part of the show today, but we also can't thank you enough for supporting us, supporting this community, and doing what you're doing to try and make things better in the community, taking an active, just taking action yourself and be like, things could be done better. So we appreciate you for that.
Yeah, guys, my pleasure. It's always a pleasure to hop on here, man, with you guys. And like I said, this segment's really cool, man. I really like it. I think it's really fun. It's good that everybody can participate in it. And like I said, we're looking forward to continuing this definitely for as long as you guys are doing it, and I'll have EGS, sponsor it for sure.
We can't thank you enough. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, Tony, I wish, wish we had more time. We could spend another hour just asking questions and everything. But again, I do encourage everyone here to, follow EGS on Instagram, subscribe to them on YouTube. Ask the question, guys. Tony is here making himself available for you guys. You can visit the website, email him with any questions that you may have, and he'll let you know if you have any questions before you're thinking about even sending books in. But I'm telling you, like, look, I understand the stigma around the grading industry still, but it takes us. It takes the what do they say, like the crypto commercial with Matt Damon, it takes those that, dare to, explore, like take your $20, $25, whatever it is, send a book to EGS, guys. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. There's so much to offer here. And again, Tony, I'm so happy to see the success that you had. I wish nothing but the best for you moving forward. And I am very, very, talk about optimism. I am so optimistic about where this is headed. And I really am. I'm telling you, Jeff, I really wish that you would have took my comment in the beginning of the show and done the extra work to bring in a Pointer Sisters clip while we were live, because you're not doing enough already.
Listen,
to just bring it here and just tell them how excited I am and I can't hide it and all that good stuff. So
we can't afford the lawyer fee that it would take to
that
actually have the lawyer go and license it. So let's just hold off for a sec. But my dad loves him some pointers.
Yep.
Tony, again,
that's what I got.
Testament to you. You're still here, entering into year 4, becoming stronger. So you're doing it right. So keep at it, and we are up there with your biggest fans. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you, the audience, as well. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week. We will be back again next week with Drew from Como Comics. He's a fun one, no doubt about that. But until then, y'all be good to yourself and be good to others. We will see you next week. Peace.